Hello, everybody. I'm Kari Havakan, and I am absolutely passionate about everything wellness, lifestyle, and personal and professional and spiritual development. And today I have our absolutely gorgeous Emma, all the way from London, England. Hey, Emma, how you going?
Hi, Carrie. I'm great, thank you. I'm really well. And yourself?
Yeah, really good. It's good to see you. Beginning of your day and the end of my day.
I know, right? And we're talking about summer here, and you're all nicely cozy and layered up.
Absolutely. And we have had a good day, but at the end of the day, it's all cooling down again now. So yeah.
Good.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad you have got a good day to look forward to with the warmth of summer over there. We
Yes.
have been enjoying watching the Paris Olympics and the summer heat that they're having over there. So I'm guessing you're getting something similar.
Yeah, it's been lovely. The last couple of weeks, an unexpected summery weather here in the UK because it was cold until like July, even we're thinking about turning the heating on. So, yeah. This is
That's
good. This
hilarious.
is really good. Yeah, can't
Oh my
complain.
goodness. Well, everyone, today we are going to be chatting a continuation of the chat we had a while ago. We have been wanting to have this chat, but various things have come up for both of us, and intermittently. So tonight we're continuing the chat of um, the fear of expressing ourselves in public, basically. And last time we talked about our speech, our vocal side of things. And this time we're going down the path of writing. Now, writing, I don't know about anybody else, but in my mind, I automatically think of, book writing, and but it actually is a way more than that. It also includes things like your emails and it includes social media posts like Facebook, Instagram, and so forth, and that, and what sort of content you choose to put into those various medias and how you feel about it and about expressing yourself as a result of that. So, Emma, I know that you have been on a bit of a journey with your social media. I know you're not a book writer yet, but you will be soon, I'm sure. um, but I do know that you have been down the path of creating social media posts. And I do remember, oh, it would have been a while ago that you had a lot of fear around the posts and making sure they were right and perfect and all those sorts of things that we all go through, and that and embracing that public expression for writing those posts. So, would you like to talk a little bit about when you actually started that process for your coaching career and what motivated you to start doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. Carrie, I just want to say, if anybody see me for the first time, I'm a confidence coach based here in the UK, and I help people to get over their limiting beliefs and blocks so that they can just step into a new version of themselves that is unlimited and having more fun and more joy. So thank you for having me on. In
Oh,
terms of,
I was going to say it's a pleasure, and I apologize for omitting that. So I'm glad you popped it in.
I know that's okay. I always forget as well to introduce myself. So, in terms of writing and any kind of creativity, I think it's because, at least on my journey, we go to school, Carrie, and we're taught certain things. And whatever we're taught, we are examined and tested
Hmm.
on the information that we're able to download and put out into some answer version that is tested. So there's always this anxiety about if I put something together, I'm going to be tested. And
Hmm.
you asked me about my social media journey. Yes, I'm from that school background where, I've gone to school, got a degree, all those things, and I was always tested. So I was always nervous about putting something out and somebody's opinion or coming back to me in a form of a grade. Yeah. So somehow I was doing that to myself, in my post and stuff. I was grading myself and I was always basing it on, is it good enough? Is it going to pass? But actually, creativity is completely nothing to do with that. Today, we're talking about creative writing. but it could be a painting, a piece of music. For me now, I understand, after years of doing it and after years of sitting with the discomfort, yes, there is some gifts and talents and skills to acquire to learn how to put things together. But also it's a lot more about being a vessel to download information that's going to resonate with people. And sometimes it isn't even for you. The gift is not even for you. Whatever that is channeled through me, a message about, okay, helping somebody to become more confident. I'm in service of the person that needs to receive that piece of creativity that just happens to come through me. So often a creative channel like something like this alive, I don't have to watch my lives to gift other people the message that is coming through me at that point. So what I've learned over the years is also that there's so much beauty in creative writing or any kind of creativity when you allow some cracks and imperfections to come through, and that the reader can feel a genuine, authentic share about your life story, your journey, your truth, your reality, your downfall, your rise, some mistakes. It makes us normal. It makes them connect with you a lot more. So really, it's surrendering the idea of perfection, surrendering the idea of being tested or graded, because it has nothing to do with that, and stepping more into, I want to download whatever's going to serve somebody else. If it's writing music, if it's putting out a book, which I haven't done yet, if it's creating a workshop. I write lots of workshops, I create lots of workshops that I sit down and I try to serve and have obviously a clientele in mind. What is it that they're struggling with? And how best can I serve them? If I ask them that question in my mind, and I have to just trust whatever I download to be the right thing. And it usually is.
I love that, Emma, and I love the fact that you've brought one huge fear that so many of us do have of that being graded, judged or criticized, and that, but particularly, from going back over our school years and having those, spot exams, or the ones that really mattered for moving on to whatever we were going to do in life as we came to the end of our schooling years. And I think the way that you've reiterated that if we can let go of all of that, but really embrace, serving and create, receiving the download that wants to come through us, I think that's a beautiful way to look at it. It's really interesting because I'm just sort of thinking about, when we do receive that feedback of whatever kind, whether it's good or negative feedback. Can you remember when you did start doing your posting for your coaching and stuff like that, and what reactions or feedback you initially received, and how that may have impacted your confidence and drive to continue with those posts? Can you remember back that far? It wasn't that long ago, but it probably was in many ways.
Remember, the feedback was always very positive, Carrie.
Mm.
Everybody who I know who took the time to get back to me and say, you write really well, or that really resonated with me. The feedback was always very positive. The interesting thing that I observed is it's almost like other people's feedback didn't register as much as the feedback I was giving myself. Yeah. So it was less about outside validation and more about me accepting that was good, because I have such a high standard for myself that no matter what anybody said, I was still listening to this internal conversation going on here. So it wasn't until I got to the space where I surrendered the idea that a piece of work has to be perfect and allowed it to be more about creativity, more about play, more about sharing, that any kind of feedback landed on me in the way that I can receive it. Yeah. So self-doubt is also a big part of this journey for me, and surrendering self-doubt and leaning more into trust and faith that it isn't about my opinion about, or anybody's opinion about the work. It is, can it help one person? Now my judgment, my test for it is, can it help one person? So if somebody gives me feedback and said that really helped me, done. I don't judge it anymore.
And did you find that was like a long process in the sense of like, several months, or, how did that journey? Because I'm just thinking of people who are listening and sort of thinking, oh, I'm probably going to be very similar to Amma. How if I've been, sitting with it for, a year sort of thing and going through that whole process, should I be concerned or anything like that, So would you like to speak a little bit about that
Yeah.
process for you? Yeah.
So as we spoke about school, right? You go to school or you enroll on a profession, accountancy, whatever it is, and you're qualified and you're done and you get a job and you sit in that job and you feel like you can do the job. With creativity, you learn on the job. You have to learn on stage. You have to learn through your writing. And the beautiful thing is that you take your audience on a journey as well. So people who've been following me for the last 4 or 5 years remember, what I was like either live or in my posts, and have grown with me and have evolved
Mm-hmm.
with me. And
Mm-hmm.
people appreciate being part of your journey, because when they're part of your journey from, say, humble beginnings to an increment of progress or an elevation in your skill set, I think it helps people to see themselves as well, that they can do it too. So, in answer to your question, I've been learning and growing on the job, and
Mm.
I've been practicing in every single post, in every single outreach, in every single workshop. I've been practicing on the job, and that's what's helped me to improve. So if somebody's watching and they're thinking, well, I don't want to start writing until I'm good enough, you're never going to be good enough until you start putting out some work.
Yeah.
And the fun thing is that you're look at it as play. You're having a messy play. Kids like messy play. You're having a messy play, and after you've got a body of work, say from a 300 post onwards, actually you love all the parts and the beginning that you thought wasn't good enough, because it becomes this part of this puzzle that creates a perfection of where you are now, because it's part of your life story. And it gives people who are being served by your creativity an opportunity to see. It's like a really beautiful shop window into your life, a unique invitation to be part of you growing up publicly.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And with that note of watching and growing with you, and observing your whole journey and everything to that sort of level, with any sort of public expression, there is a level of vulnerability. So how do you balance being open with protecting your personal life and your emotions?
What a great question. What a great question.
Mm.
Most of the time, I share something that I've overcome. If I'm in
Mm-hmm.
the heat of the lesson or the experience or the downfall, I haven't got the maps, the language to share about it yet, because I'm still processing it for myself. So
Mm-hmm.
the way I do it is that I speak to what would a 10-year ago version of me want to hear about, you know, motherhood, with little ones. I could talk about that because I've been through it, I've grown through it, and I have some knowledge and wisdom to impart on somebody, or somebody that's just about starting a business. I'm 5 years into my business now, so I can give some guidance and wisdom about something that I've overcome already. Sometimes, though, I do talk about things in real time, like, when my father died and hadn't
Mm.
had it all processed. I shared it in real time because I think it's also important to be vulnerable and let people know that whatever you're going through, somebody else, just because I'm not talking about it doesn't mean I'm not going through stuff as well. So there are things that I'm comfortable sharing, and there's no, again, rules about it, Carrie. I don't have any
Mm.
framework around that. I share what I believe can be in service of people. And
Mm-hmm.
most of the
Mm-hmm.
time, it's things that I, something that I've overcome because I've got some wisdom, I've got some maps and tools to share with somebody else. And otherwise, I share with my audiences as I'm going through it, because it's also nice to say, does anybody have any help about this, that, anybody struggling with this as well? And together we figure it out. It's kind of like having a wide pool of network of friends, followers, believers, whatever it is, and we go through it together. Yeah.
Mm. And look, I think each person really would need to assess what is appropriate for them and what they align with as to what they do share. So it would definitely be very much an individual thing. And I don't know about you, but I would say if you're not comfortable, then leave it out until you do feel comfortable. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. Once you put it out there, there's no retreating it back, right? So you won't share anything that, especially when it involves other people as well. I think on this journey where our work is public and therefore our life might be our marketing, it's important to keep the privacy of other people involved. If you have, say, for example, a family situation that you'd love to talk about, but maybe the people in your family don't necessarily want to be part of your public creative outlet in all the intricate details that you might be comfortable sharing. I think it's important to be sensitive to other people involved in that and maybe only share your part and share the parts that you're comfortable sharing. It's like anything, even though we have friends, even though we have colleagues, even though we have associates, it's not everything that we put in public. You put in public what you feel is comfortable, and it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. That's the way I navigate it. And yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, that's good. Thank you for that. I was thinking as a confidence coach for yourself, and a lot of the listeners who may be wanting to get further and further down this path of, elevating their writing skills so they can, do whatever it is they want to do. As a confidence coach, I'm just thinking, are there any routines or habits that could help our audience to overcome the fear and so they can consistently produce authentic content?
Absolutely. Before any kind of creative writing experience that somebody wants to step into, it helps by priming the mind, body, and soul to be able to download. And that involves, for me, some affirmations, prayer, meditation, rituals, playing music that would just surrender parts of my mind that wants to be resistant and not flexible or judgmental. So I might say some affirmations like, I'm perfectly and wonderfully made, and, I'm capable, I'm strong, I'm empowered. Things move through me with ease and grace, whatever that looks like for you. You can write your own affirmations, or you can have a set of affirmations that you just download off the internet and just get into that. And not just saying it, but really step into it and really believe it that it's you. So that helps to relax any kind of tension or resistance to whatever's coming through you. And then I think it's important to, again, just write down what comes through you and not judge it. Read it as if it was a gift that came to you from somewhere and not judge it. Sometimes we're gifted things that it might not be something we would have chosen for ourselves, but it's a gift all the same, and see it as a gift and say thank you and let it be, and just keep thanking it. Don't have this urge, oh, that paragraph wasn't good enough, or that I need to, it's not really about that. It's simply get it down and say thank you. And the more you say thank you for what's come through, the more comes through. And the more you say thank you for what's come through and not judge it, other things will come through that might be in line with maybe where you want your writing skills to grow. So yeah, I would say it's more about spending like 5 minutes to get yourself in a very relaxed state. Move your body a little bit, play some music, dance around, whatever your chosen
Works for
style
you.
of relaxation is, and just to be totally relaxed, and also to time it, Carrie.
Yeah.
Sometimes a lot of people that I've worked with, they overdo it. They think they have to sit down for 3-4 hours. Sometimes just having blocks of 15 minutes and walk away 15 minutes, it could be all day 15 minutes, or you could do it in time blocks of 15 minutes and take a break. I think that also helps with being very focused and very relaxed and just thinking, right, I've got 15 minutes, whatever comes through, that's what it is for this 15 minutes slot that I have here, and move on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great advice. I'm just thinking of, like those times when we have to reply to an email as an example, or write a letter, or whatever that might be, or even respond to somebody who's commented on our posts or anything along those lines, and sometimes, what you want to say, you need to sort of step back and just sort of, take a few, moments or even a day or whatever to just really think it through and feel the energy around whatever it is in that. But I'm just sort of thinking along the lines of, sometimes even something that you do want to, like creating the post even, um, what you want to say, but it doesn't always come out the way you want it to come out. And
Yeah.
so support people or even mentors, or like for me, my husband is my sounding board. I'll say, this is what I'm trying to say. What do you think? And, sometimes you'll go, oh yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, go ahead with that, because, it sounds great. And other times you go, no, no, you got to change that.
Yes.
So with people who are sort of just starting out or wanting to change their style or whatever, what would you say to having some support people in their court to help them through with that side of things?
We're so time pressured, Carrie, all the time these days, that the minute we receive an email or text message or a comment, there is the sense of urgency to reply straight away, right?
Mm.
And I feel like if in that moment, the words, the ideas, the thoughts, the message is not coming through the way you want it to come through, take a step back. Don't reply then. Nothing will happen if you don't reply immediately. I don't force myself to do any, especially if you think it's important. We're talking about something important, obviously. If it's
Yeah.
important, don't feel the desperation to respond straight away or react. Take your time and prepare a response. Now, if you've prepared the response and, like you said, you're still judging it and you wish you had someone to share it with, have a sounding board, have a top tier of people who you trust to say, what do you think? But these days, we don't even need that, Carrie. We've got Chat GPT. You can drop it. You can drop a draft or summary into something, AI tool like Chat GPT, and say, Chat, I want to respond to Carrie. She sent me an email about A, B, C, D, and this is how I feel. Can you write me something? I want it to be emotional. I want it to be powerful. I want it to be professional. Drop that command into Chat GPT. Chat, can you also give me 5 different versions? It can't get easier than that now, Carrie. And then you can respond to the email or the message. And more than likely, you'll find a version that's truly you, especially the more you give it, with AI commands, garbage in, garbage out. So the more you give it and the more you give it close to what you want, the closer to what it is that you're trying to say. But, with speed, if you're in a rush, or if it's just not coming to you how to express yourself, I do use Chat GPT for support. Yeah. And I think it's, if it's a way to go faster, right? We don't have to overthink things all the time. But it can be tricky, sometimes, especially things that are of sensitive nature. Somebody's going through something and I want to support them in a way that it's not coming to me straight away. What I do is not to feel a desperate sense of urgency to reply to everything straight away. I'm more into go away, think about it for a couple of minutes. And instead of just rushing any kind of response to get something out there, take your time to draft a response that it's a gift from you. It's a gift from your heart. And once you've done that, even if it's still not perfect, it doesn't matter. It's the closest to your heart connecting with another human, and that's enough.
Mm. Mm.
And if it's something not emotional or connection or friendship, it's say you're writing an email to your accountant or whatever. If it's a professional piece of work that isn't from a vulnerable or emotional side, then just maybe you need to do more research to confirm your facts, your figures, get more data. Do that. Spend time doing that to put all your pieces together so that you're happy with what you send. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, that's great. And it is interesting with the you know, the AI side of things these days. And you know, I don't know about you, but for me, if I were to use that technology and tool in the way that you just described by giving it all the various, you know, parameters and whatnot, I think you still have to look at it and look at it from the point of view of, is that how I actually speak? You know, is it reflecting me, or is it, you know, what do I need to adjust in there so that it actually is coming from me and not, you know, just words from a machine sort of thing. Um,
The more you speak to it and the more you put you, the more it gives you yourself.
mm,
If you don't put in as close to exactly what you want, because we can all write, Carrie. I mean, most of us can write some basic outline. So the more you give it and the more you speak to it and just say, can you polish this for me? Or can you write this in a more professional way for me? The more it'll give you a tone that is similar to yours. I don't suggest ChatGPT to do all of your writing for you without your input, because then of course you're getting something that it really looks robotic. And these days we're so good at AI language that people can recognize. If you read a post and you know that somebody didn't write it, you can feel, oh my God. And chat is not loyal. It writes the same way for everybody, you know, so it needs a lot of the user. You know, you start to recognize the language. You read a piece of a post or a piece of writing and you can say, oh my God, this is so AI. So we know that language. But the more of you put in, the more it can be just a support or an assistant. Imagine before we didn't have AIs, but businesses like ours, book writers, people had editors, copywriters, script writers. Those tools have existed. They just weren't affordable for everyday people like us to, you know, or smaller businesses like us to have access to it. Now you have your own copywriter sat next to you, but that copywriter is as good as you are. It meets you where you are. So you gotta. It's not an opportunity to not get good at your writing or to not get creative with your writing or to not develop your style in writing. You still have to develop your style. But imagine having a copywriter sat next to you. And, you know, I've worked in the world where I had copywriters for the companies that I work with. And if they wrote something and didn't sound like me, no, that's no, I don't speak like that. You know, or if you write script,
yeah.
if you're in a habit of writing scripts for other people, I can write scripts for people and they'll say, no, I don't express myself in that way. So you still have to be extremely present and active to express yourself in that way. Yeah, but it's just a tool, and it's a tool that's a resource, and you still have to go to work on it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. It's good to clarify that. Fantastic. Well, I think we're coming towards the end of our time together. Is there anything we may have missed in our chat so far that you would like to, you know, share with the audience
Yeah, I
before
would
we
actually.
finish? Mm,
I want to say that growth is uncomfortable.
mm,
Anything that you want to step into, if you're feeling some discomfort, if you're experiencing some self-doubt, even to the point that you're judging your work, you are normal. It's normal. It's what it looks like at the beginning. And even experienced authors publish New York best New York bestsellers. As often as they've produced books, they talk about writer's block. They talk about doubting their work. They talk about, you know, is this going to be well received? So I think creativity and the messiness of all the emotions that come up, it's normal. I would invite anybody that's thinking about writing but holding themselves back because they think, I'm too nervous about it. Maybe I'm not, that must be a sign that I'm not ready. It isn't. You are ready. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. You are enough. You know enough. You know, if you can string a couple of words together, you will bless somebody with it. So just sit with the discomfort. Know that it's like a muscle. Until you're using it, it's not growing. So the discomfort would ease off a bit, but look at it as a bit of play as opposed to a piece of work that's going to be judged, and have fun with it. Have fun with it. Let it be messy. Don't worry about errors and commas and T's that you didn't cross or whatever it is. Actually, that's what makes it special. And that's what adds to your own special signature and flavors. And look at it like art. Sometimes I go to so many galleries and I think, what is that? You know, but the person that's going to spend £100,000, £50,000 is going to resonate with it and buy it. I think it's amazing. It's a masterpiece. So just see yourself as a vessel that's downloading these beautiful words and phrases, even if they're not perfect and they're not beautiful to you. And it's a piece of art that somebody will hang with pride in their life. So give it up.
Love that. Fantastic. And I think that's great advice, especially for anybody starting, but also anybody that's sort of, you know, in the midst of all of what we've just been talking about. So fantastic. Excellent. Well, thank you for another awesome chat. It's always great to have a chat with you, Gamma, and learn and share and grow together and with our audience and everything. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for joining us, whether you've been live with us today or whether you're watching the replay. We really appreciate your time with us. And yeah, if you've got any comments or want to ask anything, pop them in the comments in the post below. And Emma will put her contact details if you'd like to reach out to her and some confidence coaching. And yeah, that's pretty much where we're at tonight. So I'm not sure what our next topic is going to be, and I'm not sure when it's going to be, but you'll see us here.
Definitely September. We'll be back.
September, okay. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, Carrie. Bye.
Bye.